got like emotional, you know, because he told me Richard's brother, but Richard wasn't dead at this point. So I'm reading the paper, and that's a hell of a way to find out.
And she called me and told me that she had saw it in the paper about Richard and his brother had gotten killed. And I was like, well, you know, and I was scared and I was shocked. And I, you know, scared because she was up there in New York where all these things was happening, you know. And so, you know, I think I told her to come on home or something. So Alberto happened to call me right after I talked to Karen, and I told him that I had just talked to her and what she had saw in the paper about Richard, you know. And he was like, whoa, when? And I said, you know, I just talked to her. And she was saying that she had the paper. He said, oh my God. He said, call Karen and tell her to come home. Get from up there down. She don't need to be up there. It's too much crazy stuff going on. So I was like, okay. He said, damn. He said, you sure? And I was like, sure, I'm sure. She just called me and told me. He said, oh my God. He said, well, tell her, call her back and tell her I said to come on home. Get from up there now.
And she said, I told Alberto what you told me. So she was like, and he left this number. He said, call soon as you get, you know, back to this lady's house, call. So I called, and he was like, bring the paper that you saw that in. It was like he didn't know, you know, so I'm like, hold up. And he was like, you don't need to be up there. Stay right there. I'm going to call number 10. I'm like, who the hell is number 10? I'm going to call number 10 or something to come and get you to bring y'all home. You don't need to be up there right now. So I get to my mother's, and he meet me there. He read the paper. He had me fooled. He reading it and drops his head like he upset, you know? And I'm like, just watching, like, I'm getting all teary-eyed and stuff like, damn. They killed Richard. I can't believe this.
He went through the whole 9 yards, you know, like he ain't know nothing about it and all.
He was like, he lost his best friend.
Alpo walked in the restaurant with this girl. I'm like, wow, I ain't seen this dude in a minute. He sits down. We acknowledge each other. We go outside like men, like, yo. First thing he said, yo, hey man, why everybody think I did that to Rich?
There was times where I saw him after that happened to my brother, and he couldn't even look at me.
Why Pat and her mom's going around saying I did this to Rich? I'm like, yo fam, man, they not the only ones saying that shit. There's a lot of people feeling that way. He said, yo, if you think if I was to give them $50,000 apiece, man, they let it go. I said, yo fam, look man, we shook hands. I said, do what you think is best, man. When he said that to me, he told me, he confirmed me and my thoughts that he did that.
Now I know it probably was just his guilt, but at that time, my mother said from day one through the door, Alpo killed my son.
But I know the thing is, did I kill Rich? Yes. Why did I kill Rich? It wasn't personal. It was business.
How could you kill something you love, man? That's real confusing to me, man. How could you kill something that love you?
Like I said to you before about the coke, Rich was lying to me about something that I felt he had no reason to lie to me about. And in my mind, it told me that if he could let this little bit of money come between what I thought was a beautiful relationship, friendship, then no telling what he would sell me down the line for.
But on some real shit, man, you shouldn't have did that to Rich, man. Shouldn't have did it, man. I don't give a fuck, man.
I gave him the opportunity to tell me the truth, not once, but twice. So when I came with the plan with my little man, and I said if he lied to me, then we just gonna do what I said. That's what happened.
You could have did anything, man. It could have been forgotten, man. Forgiven, man. Damn, man. Not that, though. Shit, man.
I don't want to keep repeating myself, but I will say that
When Richard died, he was here to stay for sure.
So I wound up going back to girl Karen and her family.
Hearing about Alpo this, Alpo that, and dudes ask me, you know that dude?
He was well known because he went everywhere. He was in every little crack in every little corner. He wanted to be popular. He wanted to know everybody.
Things were changing also down here. See, the game was changing. The streets was changing.
He helped a lot of niggas out. Niggas that was in jail. He bailing motherfuckers out, you know what I'm saying? He hit niggas off with money, giving motherfuckers opportunity to get money, man.
You go out here with anybody. He hanging with anybody.
He was around a whole bunch of grimy niggas.
There's another element to this game, and it's called the wolf. It's called the stick-up kid. It's called the snatch kid.
You can't trust everybody. They don't know you. You ain't from here. You get money. Be careful.
And you have to be aware that these niggas exist, man. This is a reality. This is a reality. You can't deny it, and you can't get away from it. And it's all a part of the game. This is a package deal.
I was at home watching television, and a nurse called me, and she was like, "Do you know a Albert Hill?" Like, no, why? She was like, because he was just shot. The helicopters is taking him to such and such hospital, and he gave your name.
I got shot because they was trying to kidnap me in D.C.
So I'm thinking, where he get shot? She was like, he got shot in his body. He's in surgery. They didn't even know if he was going to make it. They couldn't tell us that.
Only thing that saves me this day is as I'm talking to this dude, he looks over my shoulder. And as he looks over my shoulder, I follow his eyes. And as I follow his eyes, I see about 4 dudes coming to grab me. Next thing you know, I start running. And when I start running, I hear these bullets coming over my head, and one hit me in the ribs.
He made it out of surgery, and they had him in the recovery room.
Looking in his eyes, like he was, like he hope he don't die.
They had all this stuff hooked up to him, and the machine was breathing for him.
Seeing him like that, I just tried to keep talking to hold back tears because I just wanted to cry,
I felt like, damn, he met her. He down here on the strength for her. Now he done got out here. We done introduced him to all these people. I hope he don't die, but he pulled through. But I was nervous for him.
I could see it changed him. He had no choice but to change. You down here, niggas shooting you, trying to rob you now. It's like, to me, he knew I got to step my game up, because they like, if they can do it and get away with it, his attitude was like, everybody gonna start trying to come at him then.
Al said, man, killers respect killers, man. Nobody ain't taking shit from Al.
I definitely had the understanding that what I was doing wasn't right, but that's what I had to do for me.
It was like, drugs and murder was like steak and eggs. It was, both of them go, and they taste very good together.
Everybody murderers, man. But then, you heard? Just under the right circumstances, whether they're going to withdraw it or not. If he wouldn't have had that killing instance when he went to D.C., he would have never made it out of D.C.
Alpo brought in his partner, which was Wayne Perry.
This kid had D.C. in fear. This kid just didn't care. He was murdering everything that was moving.
When Poe hooked up with Wayne, that was the best thing that happened to Poe.
The average dude getting money down here would have loved to have Wayne on their team. And he had Wayne on his team.
Alberta was characterized as the kingpin of the organization, and Mr. Perry was characterized as the enforcer.
Poe had the money and the coke. Wayne had the power.
These his new friends.
If you're gonna get something from Alpo, you best to pay it back, because if not, Wayne is gonna handle it.
Ain't no freebies, ain't all that nice shit stopping.
Wayne's MO was more so than, fuck that nigga, let's get rid of him.
If you wasn't on their team, then watch out, because if you had something they wanted, they was coming to get it.
Law enforcement authorities have been able to make more than 350 arrests prior to today and to seize more than 19,000 pounds of cocaine, which have a wholesale value of $270 million.
When I first got the information from the prosecutor, and I'm listening to what the prosecutors and the FBI agents are telling me, and they're telling me about all these murders, they're talking to me about all the money he's been making, they're talking to me about all of the weight that's been brought from New York and from other places down to the District of Columbia, and they're showing me the proof that they have and the surveillance and the witnesses' statements, and I'm sitting there and trying to take it all in.
I was putting together an indictment charging Alpo with potential death penalty cases.
They was trying to give me the death penalty. If they couldn't give me the death penalty, they was trying to give me the rest of my natural life in jail. We had murders 2 blocks away from the White House.
And when I got the information, I remember I went back to see him at the jail, and we sat down and I stared at him for about 2 or 3 minutes, and I was just shaking my head, and I said to him, you know, I can't believe all of what I'm seeing and hearing here.
My lawyer was like, your ace in the hole is, if they ever ask you to tell, you really need to think about that.
Wayne wasn't sure that he was telling.
They knew Alberto, it was a chance of him telling. You know, he wasn't from here. Y'all ain't come out the sandbox together, this business.
But what they were doing was building a case. And Wayne got locked up on a whole nother charge, which right then and there Wayne knew that he was telling because they held Wayne.
I think what was so surprising to them was the ability of Mr. Martinez to recall details and information about transactions.
We believe that as many as 2,000 pounds of cocaine entered this country in a single shipment.
I got this deal coming up with this connect, anywhere from like $6 million worth of coke.
And it was common for traffickers to hand our undercover agents